We know that Elena Ferrante is a pseudonym. We know that she's an Italian writer, that in one of her rare interviews, which are released as part of a little tiny book called Fragments, which you can download on her publisher Europa Editions website, she says, "I have been writing for 20 years and produced 6 novels. Isn't that enough?" She writes mostly about women, the small details of women's lives, their relationships with each other, their friendships, particularly their maternal relationships between mothers and daughters, sometimes taking the mother's, sometimes the daughter's perspective. She writes about the hidden violences in society, repression, but her novels are also full of resilience. She says that her characters do not so much suffer as struggle. One thing that she's doing, which is an extraordinary project, is talking about the minutiae of women's lives as if they're extremely important, which is not something that's been done that often, and it's something that has to be done again and again in order for it to be heard. She does this often by breaking things down, by concentrating very hard on describing the very minute surfaces, the very minute relationships, the thought processes, the objects that women encounter with great seriousness. I think this is something that you find in some other great women writers like Elfriede Jelinek and Clarice Lispector, particularly I think of. Even Lydia Davis, you think that something she does, although her tone is extremely different, is just break down experience. The other thing that she does, which is quite extraordinary, is to take this experience in the Neapolitan novels, the experience of ordinary women living in Italy over a long period after the Second World War to the early 21st century, and to make that the great Italian novel, to tell through these very small experiences of women the story of Italy, the story of post-war Italy, which is an extraordinary project to bring those two things together. It's been done often through the lives of men, but very infrequently through the lives of women, to do the great novel of a nation. The Days of Abandonment is a much shorter novel than any of the Neapolitan novels. It's set over a very short period of time and in a very close, almost anonymous setting. It's a story of a woman whose husband leaves her for a much younger woman, completely out of the blue. She didn't expect this at all. And during the period of grieving for this event, she finds herself locked in her apartment. She finds that she can't operate the key anymore. It's a nightmare situation, the sort of thing that occurs in bad dreams. Her cell phone doesn't work. Breaking down this experience, looking in unflinching detail at exactly what happens, however terrible it is. Under the stupefied gaze of Ilaria, I brought my mouth to the key, tasted it with my lips, smelled its odour of plastic and metal. Then I grabbed it solidly between my teeth and tried to make it turn. I did it with a sudden jerk, as if I wished to surprise the object, impose a new statute, a different dispensation. Now we'll see who wins, I thought, while a pasty, salty taste invaded my mouth. But I produced no effect, except the impression that because the rotating movement of my teeth on the key wasn't working, it was finding an outlet in my face, tearing it like a can opener, and my teeth were being unhinged from the foundation of my face, taking with them the nasal septum, the eyebrow and eye, and revealing the viscid interior of head and throat.